This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
We'll talk about a little bit the power of our eyes. What's the power of our eyes? Let's start with the pasuk Tov Ayin Hu Yevarech. What does it mean, Tov Ayin Hu Yevarech? A person who has a good eye, he can give a bracha. His bracha will become through. Whatever is going to bless you, going to happen. The Gemara says, Tov Ayin Hu Yevarech, Hu Yevorach. Not only he is mevarech, but also he is being blessed by himself. Why? Because he has a good eye. As opposed to it, the pasuk says, Al tilham et lechem tzar ayin. If a person is tzar ayin, he has a bad eye, don't eat by him. Whatever he looks at turns into haravot, hitzim v'hanitot. Better to swallow knives than to eat by someone who's a bad eye. But Bil'am, the Torah says, Ne'um HaGever shetum ha'ayin. What is it, shetum ha'ayin? Says Zohar HaKadosh, Bil'am had a very bad eye. And he covered it. He used to cover it. Why he used to cover his eye? Wherever he looked with this eye, one eye, terrible eye. If he looked with this eye on something, on someone, on one house, on a person, he caused the damage. So to protect him, to protect his relatives, his friends, or just random people from not damaging them, he had to close this eye. Whenever he wanted to bring damage into someone or to some place, then he took off this cover and he looked with his eye, and he brought a disaster. And that's what he wanted to do to Bnei Israel in the Midbar. So what HaKadosh Baruch Hu did? HaKadosh Baruch Hu covered us. He covered us, he protected us with the clouds of glory. And Bilam couldn't see us. And then Balak took him to another end, to another place, to another angle. Maybe he's going to see a little bit from the nation. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu kept protecting us and covering us, so he was unable to see us. So you see, the eye can cause a damage. And the opposite, the eye can bring also a blessing. The same as the out can be exporting damages and blessings, also the eye can bring into the person similar results. If a person is looking at good things, then the eye brings him blessings, elevates him. There is a very important mitzvah, halacha, to see the tzaddik, to look at the face of a tzaddik. Why? When you're looking at the face of a tzaddik, it elevates your neshama. When we're taking Sefer Torah out from the Echal, when we're doing Agba'a, Vezot HaTorah, Shechsa Moshe Lefnei Bnei Israel, everybody's looking at the Sefer Torah. Why are we looking at the Sefer Torah? What happened? Since the days of the creation, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in the beginning, created a special light. Vayomer Elokim Yehi Or. This special light, the person was able to see from the end of the world to the end of the world. Misof ha'olam v'ad sofo. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu realized that the Reshaim are going to use this light the wrong way. So Amad HaKadosh Baruch Hu genazol tzadikim. He hid this light. Where did he hide it? In Sefer Torah. He hid it in the Torah. So when we're lifting up the Torah, we're opening the Sefer, and everybody sees the otiyot of Sefer Torah. Inside this otiyot of Sefer Torah, there is Or HaGanuz, the special light there. So what does it help to look at it? If you're looking there, if you're looking at this light, it's illuminating your neshama. It's a spiritual light. Not always we feel it at the moment, not always we feel the results immediately, but it's there. This light exists, and it comes into your neshama, illuminating your neshama, elevating you. Same thing with looking at the face of a tzaddik. Looking at the face of a tzaddik, what happens? Shekhinah is on his face. There is Zohar, very interesting Zohar, Zohar says on the pasuk, יראה כל זכורך את פני האדון השם. אומר הזוהר הקדוש, man hu adon, who is the adon? On the regel, on the ימים טובים, there is a mitzvah to go to בית המקדש, right? 3 פעמים בשנה יראה כל זכורך. There is a mitzvah to go to בית המקדש at the holidays, פסח, שבועות, סוכות. But the pasuk says, האדון השם. Says Zohar הקדוש, who's the adon? Answer Zohar הקדוש, רבי שמעון בר יוחאי. That's the adon. But how is it possible? The adon is Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai? What is Zohar is talking about? Adon is Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai. Omer or Hama, since the idea of going into Beit HaMikdash, what's the purpose of going to Beit HaMikdash? Yera'e kol zechurecha. You go in there to see and to be seen. What do you see when you go to Beit HaMikdash? What do you see? We're saying in Berich Shemeh, ופורקן ימינך החזה לעמך בבית מקדשך לעמתו ילנה מיטוב נאורך. Kadosh Baruch Hu will show us in the redemption when He's going to build Beit HaMikdash, we're going to be able to see a special light, mituv nehorach, from the goodness of the light of Hashem Yitbarach. When a person comes into Beit HaMikdash, his neshama sees it. Not visual, not physical. It's not a physical vision. It's a spiritual vision. That his neshama feels it and sees it. And this light coming into the person and elevating him. And this light stays with him and goes with him home afterwards. And this person is a different person after he saw this light in Beit HaMikdash. Says Or Hama, same thing when you go to Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai. When you saw the face of Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai, you saw the Or of Hashem, since the Shekhinah is on the face of a tzaddik. As opposed to it. On the other hand, Hazal says, Asur l'ishtakel b'fnei adam rasha. Do not look on a person, on the face of a rasha. Why don't look on the face of a rasha? It affects the person. When you look at the face of a rasha, the tum'ah that he has on his face affects your neshama. Also, Hazal says, Asur l'ishtakel b'fnei ha'ko'es. If you see a person who's getting angry, don't look at his face. Why? What happens when a person is getting angry? Pasuk says, Toref nafsho be'apo. His neshama leaves him. And what happens? Neshama left him. What's going to happen next? So a bad spirit comes and rests upon him. And this bad spirit, it's a terrible spirit, comes from Sitra Hara. That's what the pasuk says. Lo yeh becha el zar. El zar that goes. What's el zar? An idol. Goes inside a person. When is that happening? When a person is getting angry, his neshama is leaving him. Toref nafsho be'apo. And then, what happened the next step? A bad spirit comes and stays with him, and this Elzar goes in him. So now, if you're looking at him, if you're looking at this person while he's angry, what do you see? You see this bad spirit. By looking at the bad spirit, it affects Has v'Shalom, the person, affects him, causes him damage in his neshama. Whatever a person is looking at, if it's good, if it's positive, it brings goodness to himself. If it's negative, does the opposite. It can affect others, and the eyes of the person, Hazal says, they are the windows of the neshama. The eyes, our eyes, are the windows of the neshama. The neshama can illuminate to others, and also the neshama can get the light from the outside. You take the light, you take light out, and you bring light in. Thank you. So that is what the Gemara says in Baba Batra also. Gemara says, אסור לאדם להסתכל על שדה חברו בכמותיה. What does it mean? If your friend has a field, and the field is filling up with the harvest, the whole sadeh is full, beautiful, you should not look at it. Don't look at your friend's blessing. Lama? Why shouldn't look at it? Because of bad eye on him. Because ayn hara. Don't look at it. By looking at his blessings, the person gets jealous. This jealousy, together with the eyes, can cause a damage. Gemara says that Rav once visited Bet HaKvarot, and he looked at the neshamot. He was able to see the neshamot over there. He looked at the neshamot, and he said, 99% from these people died from ayn hara. only 1% from these people died because he was supposed to die. The power of the eyes. 99% from the people in the cemetery, said Rav, they died from Ayn Hara. Can you imagine what the eyes can do just by looking at something? Same as that the eyes can cause damage to others, the eyes can cause damage to the person himself. Yeah? If he's looking at something negative, it affects him the wrong way, affects him badly. If he's looking at something positive, it affects him the right way, elevates him, illuminating him. Obviously, this beautiful organization that helps people who suffers from getting addicted to the internet, to the wrong website, it's unbelievable chesed. It's truly atzalat nefashot. Because those people, first of all, the Yetzer Hara of our generation, it's a different Yetzer Hara from what all the generations, from Avraham Avinu till today, from Adam HaRishon till today, was no Yetzer Hara like this. It's a new Yetzer Hara, it's a different Yetzer Hara that our fathers didn't met before. It's a special custom-made Yetzer Hara for our generation. And if HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us such a Yetzer Hara, you should know that. It means we have the capabilities, we have the wisdom, and we have the skills to fight it. Hashem Yitbarach does not bring a nisayon to a person if it's impossible for him to stand it. And it means also, if a person fails, he can get up from it. And if it's not that easy to fall, gotta be that it's that easy to get up from it. If it's that easy to fall in, it's that easy to get out. And these organizations that has the wisdom and the tools to help the person to get out of it, the right fighters of HaKadosh Baruch Hu for our generation. If this is the kind of a war that we are in, when you're in a war, you're supposed to recognize the weapon of the enemies. You're supposed to understand the strategy of the enemy. If you understand the strategy of the enemy, you understand the weapon the enemy is using against you, you're going to suit yourself. You're going to come with the same power, with the same force to fight the enemy, and you have a chance to win. If you don't recognize the enemy, you don't know who is he, you don't know what kind of a weapon he's holding, you don't know what his strategies are, that's a loss of a war. That's losing the war. So this organization, basically what they do, from the little bit that I heard as I came the last few minutes, they're, first of all, highlighting the enemy, the understanding the power of his weapon, they understand his strategies, and they're helping those who fell into this war, or those who, all of us, we're all in this zone, war zone. Yeah, we're all of us in the middle of a big war. We can call it World War III or World War IV, I don't know how you call it, but that's a war that the whole world is involved in this war, and there are so many victims in this war, and this war keeps going on. It didn't finish. It's still just the beginning maybe of the war. And those are the fighters, those are the commando that knows how to save a person who is already a hostage, a captive by the enemy, by Yetzer Hara. So we have to give them all the support. And we have to encourage ourselves and others, first of all, to use filters, but also to support the organization and direct people that you know that's suffering from this problem, direct them to approach this organization, or to tell the organization to approach them, and help those who fell in to get them out. Gemara says in Masechet Baba Batra, Gemara says, if a person sees women, in the olden days, they used to do their laundry by the river. They used to go to the river and wash clothes by the river. They didn't have washing machine, no dryers, washing clothes by the river. Going down to the river to wash the clothes, it took them to take off the shoes, to lift their dress up, their foot, the legs, were exposed a little bit on the bottom of the legs. So says the Gemara, if a person is passing by the river and he sees this lady's doing the laundry there and he's closing his eyes, if he's closing his eyes, זוכה לקבל פני שכינה. He's going to be זוכה to see, to be מקבל פני שכינה. And the Gemara learns that from the pasuk in Yeshaya, ועוצם עיניו מראות ברע, מה כתיב בתרי? מלך ביופיו תחזינה עיניך. If a person is closing his eyes when he's about to see something bad, what's the sachar, what's the reward he's going to get for closing his eyes? מלך ביופיו תחזינה עיניך. Who is מלך? קדוש ברוך הוא, מלכו של העולם. He's going to be זוכה to be מקבל פני שכינה. So the Gemara is asking, what are we talking about? If there is another way, there's another way to go. Why is he going by the beach? Why is he going by the river? There's another road to take. He's called a Rasha. Why is he going on this place where these ladies are washing the laundry? He has other places to go to his destination. If there is no other way to go, anushu. What can he do? He has to go home, and that's the only way to get home. He should stay in the shuk. What should he do? He has to go home. So he's anus. So the Gemara, right, we're talking about there's no other way. He must go home. And even then, when he must pass by this river, if he's going to look at the other way, he's going to turn his face, he's not going to look. He's going to force himself not to look. Then the sachar for this, the reward for that, is melech biyofio tehezena einecha. He's going to be zoche to be mekabel penei shechina. There is a midrash that says something similar to this. Rabbi Miyasha b'shem Rabbi Chaya bar Abba. Rabbi Miyasha ben beno של Rabbi Yosha ben Levi b'shem Rabbi Chaya bar Abba learns from this pasuk, ועוצם עיניו מראות ברע. אם בא לאדם דבר ערווה ועצם עיניו ולא רע, if a person was about to see something negative, not צנוע, דבר ערווה, and he closed his eyes and he didn't look. ועוצם עיניו בראות ברע, מלך ביופיו תחזינה עיניך. It's going to be זוכה to be מקבל פני שכינה. בעלי המוסר tells us, you know, if you close your eyes once, you're about to see something wrong, and you close your eyes, whatever you're going to ask at this time from Hashem Yitbarach, Hashem will fulfill it for you.
Guaranteed.
Try it. You close your eyes, it's Yetzer Hara is so strong, and it's that easy. Just look, just to open the eyes. Yeah? But a person is doing something which is against his nature now, against the human's nature. There's curiosity, the person wants to see. There is some hana'ah from looking, and he's going against himself, against his nature, and he's closing his eyes, and he's not looking at it. Hashem Yitbarach will break the rules of nature to do what he's asking for. If he needs something, if it's a shidduch, or if it's parnasa, or if it's beriut, whatever a person needs, and he's breaking his nature to do something to honor Hashem Yitbarach, nichvod Hashem Yitbarach, Hashem Yitbarach will break the rules of nature to do for him also. Midah keneged midah. On the other hand, if a person is let his eyes go free, bar minan, there's not fighting it. As long as a person is fighting, he's alive. A live fish swims against the flow. If a person fights it, he understands it's wrong, he knows he sometimes falls, it's not good, but he does not let himself fall completely. Sheva put tzaddik v'kam. He doesn't let himself get loose and lost. He's keep fighting it. He's still alive. Sometimes he's already sick, sometimes he's already gosses, but as long as he's fighting it, depends how often he's falling. As long as he's fighting it, he's still alive. If a person is letting himself loose and let himself get lost, that's the terrible disaster. And for that, we need to know. But Rambam says, Halakhot Teshuvah, means the Gemara, one of the things that prevents a person from doing Teshuvah is this isur of lo taturu acharei levavchem v'acharei einechem. Why? Because a person thinks to himself, what did I do already? I didn't do anything actually. I didn't do any ma'aseh. I didn't do the act of avera. Just looking. Just looking. By looking, I didn't do anything, any ma'aseh. Says the Rambam, a person forgets that is a lo ta'aseh min Torah. That itself is lo tatura acharei levavchem v'acharei einechem. So, first we have to understand the information. We have to understand what are we dealing with. We're dealing with isur of lo taturu, which is, has v'shalom, can cause a person to lose the chance of doing teshuvah. And Rabbeinu Ari HaKadosh says, if a person is hoteh bereiyah, he lets himself go, he doesn't care about it. Atid litgalgel be'of shenikra shemo ra'ah. It's going to come the next time, and a bird. There's a bird, one of the birds in the Torah called ra'ah. Sha'of hazeh mezaneh be'inav. So he's going to be begilgul and this kind of a bird. Which means we can see from all this information that we just went through how on one hand the person can elevate himself by watching his eyes, can get to the level of bi zoche, to be mekabel penei shechina, which is top of the top, yeah, zoche lekabel penei shechina. On the other hand, if he's letting himself lose and getting lost and is not finding it, that is one of the averot that causes a person, prevents him, stops him, keeps him away from doing teshuvah, me'akev et teshuvah. And also, has v'shalom, the result can be that bad that he's going to come begilgul in this kind of a bird called ra'ah. Used to be in the old generations, tzaddikim were sitting in Beit Midrash. Their eyes were protected. They were going from Beit הכנסת to Beit Midrash, from Beit Midrash going home. You're on the street for a few minutes. You watch your eyes for a few minutes. You're on the street, and you can imagine the olden days. Most ladies, either they were not outside, and even those who went outside, they were modesty. They were dressed proper. So the nisayon, the chance to do avera ba'inayim was far away from the person. It was easy to be a tzaddik. It was easy. In our generation, especially if a person doesn't live in a close community, yeah, you live in the big cities. During the summertime, you don't need a lot. You're going from home to shul on the way, such a mabul of disaster of things that you can see and affects himself badly. He was in shul for an hour, he leaves shul, goes to work, again another disaster of mabul. Yeah? And then it wasn't enough for him that he created such a mabul outside. He brought us these machines, yeah, and everyone keeps it in his pocket, and even in shul, and even when he's home, and when he's in his office, he's at work, it goes with him everywhere, and goes with him to the bathroom. And now they did waterproof ones, yeah, even in the shower, and in the bathroom, and in the swimming pool, and everywhere. And a person goes to sleep with that, get up with this. This is after Ramapil and before Modiani, yeah. It's surrounds the person almost 24. I don't want to say 7, but you're going to be surprised to hear some teenagers spoke to me. Well, they told me they keep Shabbat, but they can't control themselves. The mass text on Shabbat. It's like we're not talking about not religious people. Has v'shalom. That's a different story. Talking about religious boys, grew up religiously, but they're so addicted to this machine. Texting surrounds their life so much that even on Shabbat they cannot control themselves. That's how bad it got. So this machine is like hooked to the person, or person hooks to this machine, and it's like almost a hopeless cause. But at the same time, we have to remember, זה לעומת זה עשה אלוקים. הקדוש ברוך הוא never brings a ניסיון to a person, or a ניסיון to a generation, and there is no solution for this ניסיון. And there is no power and energy and skills to fight it. Never. HaKadosh Baruch Hu does not do that. If Hashem Yitbarach created such a strong Yetzer Hara, it means that He created the refuah, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu usually makdim refuah lemaka. He created also the solution. He created the skills. He planted in us the energy, the capability to fight this Yetzer Hara and to win this war. But what it takes from us is to make the first step. First of all, a person needs to want to fight it. If he understands the severeness, if he understands the disaster of the problem, creates the strong ratzon to fight it. כי תצא למלחמה על אויביך ונתנו השם אלוקיך בידיך. If a person decides to go on a war against this problem, he gets a special siyata dishmaya, untano Hashem elokecha biyadecha. Getting lost, it's only when a person does not want to fight it. He wants to let himself to being drawn into this problem. But once the person gets up, stands on his feet, and he says, I'm not going to let it happen. I'm going to fight it. If he's going to take the first step to get out on the war, Hashem is going to help him to win this war, and he's going to be able to control it. It's in us. Hashem planted this power and energy and skills and capabilities in our neshama to be able to fight such a Yetzer Hara. And I want to mention what Rabbeinu Ari HaKadosh says. He started to explain the difference between olden generations and our generation. If in the olden generations to be a tzaddik, it took to be someone like Baba Sali, their eyes were protected for generations. Baba Sali, his father and his grandfather, generations of Shmirat Einai. And therefore, every beracha they said came through. Baba Sali was able to take a person out of his wheelchair. A lady who never had children, to give her beracha and she's going to have a child. 20 years didn't have children. A beracha, one beracha. A little arak with a beracha, and she was conceived and gave birth. Every beracha he gave came through. Why? Shmirat Einai. But that's generations of Shmirat Einai. To be a tzaddik in the older generations, on one hand, I described it was a little easier in reality, but because it was easier, it took much more for a person to do lichvod Hashem, so Hashem will do for him. But since in our generation, the nisayon is so big, HaKadosh Baruch Hu counts even small steps. And Rabbeinu Ari HaKadosh explains it. He says, Mashal, lema davar domeh. A queen that was sitting on her glory in her palace, and she was running the whole financial industry. So whoever wanted to get the permit to open a new business had to go approach the king. And when she's sitting in her glory, in her palace, in her position, when you come, you don't come to the queen with empty hands. You come with the right present, and this present has to fit. You're not bringing her a cup of grape juice. Yeah, you're coming with a present that fits the specialty and the level of the queen. And then she'll get your way. She'll get you the permit, she'll give you the business. But once the king got upset at the queen, and he decreed for her to be in prison, to be in jail. And she was in jail, missing necessity, basic food, comfortable bed. Some smart, wise businessman decided to go and take care of her there. And he sent her comfortable mattress, and he sent her every day nice food. Didn't cost him much. usually he had to bring some diamonds and jewelries and gold and to be מקבל פני המלכה. But now, when the Malka is in a situation like this, it doesn't take much to please the Malka. When she's going to get out of jail after a couple months, yeah, she'd appreciate what he did for her much more than she appreciated what the rich billionaires gave her very expensive presents. It's the same thing with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. When Hashem Yitbarach is sitting, and Beit HaMikdash is there, Am Yisrael, kulam ahovim, kulam be'orim, kulam kedoshim, it takes a lot to do to honor Hashem, to be considered a tzaddik, to be considered close to Hashem. But in our generation, when the Shechina is mushpelet le'afar, when the nisayon is so strong, when Yetzer Hara is celebrating so much, it takes every small steps, even the simple sandwich that you send to the Shechina, yeah, a small step that a person does, it counts a lot in the eyes of Hashem Yitbarach. And that's what we need to do. We need to count our small steps, but we need to get up, and we need to make those small steps. To do it to honor Hashem Yitbarach. And then HaKadosh Baruch Hu will give us this special siyata d'shmaya, ובזוכים all of us בעזרת השם לקבל פני שכינה, נזכה לגאולה שלמה במהרה בימינו, אמן ואמן. רבי חיים הקשר אומר, רצה הקדוש ברוך הוא לזכות את ישראל, לפיכך בא להם תורה ומצוות שנאמר, אדוני החפץ למען צדקו, יגדיל תורה ויאדיר.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.